and yada yada. And people can say that Kat was a tease to Robbie, but at the end of the day, she does not have to give him anything because it's her body, her choice, her mind, her choice. Kat owed him nothing. Y'all cut Robbie Shapiro way too much slack. I feel like Robbie thought it would have been easy to get up in Trina's pants, but no, Trina was not easy. Trina was not about that, okay? Robbie always felt the need to cover it up. Like I said, Jade was a scary loser. He was a wimpy loser, like Mr. Greg Heffley. Y'all, Dan gives me a headache. I don't care. I said my blunt opinions about her. I don't like her. Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. As you guys know, welcome to the pirate ship, Harry Hook's pirate ship. You are in for something. I don't know what you're in for, but you're in for something. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. Yeah, as you guys know, we always got to start every video off with the self promo. But before we get into self promo, because I can't wait to get this out, thank you guys for 40K. Thank you guys so much. We hit 40K this morning and like I'm still like mind blown, like whoa, we hit 40K. I never thought, I don't know, every time that number rises and rises and rises, it's just like I did that. We did that, like y'all, because I was like, I'm gonna hit 50K. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever hit 50K. Y'all, 50K is literally 10 subscriber counts away. That is big. But yes, aside from the thank you, y'all please go support me on Patreon if you can. I really appreciate that because you guys' help, any type of support really does help me financially, because you guys know I am an inspiring filmmaker and I have a big project coming up that I'm going to announce very soon. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff coming for you guys in the future. Like you guys' views, contributions, donations, anything, it really does help me create more arts and crafts for you guys because I am big on the arts. Yeah. You guys can tell already, I am Mr. Harry Hook today. I am Harry Hook today. Okay, my Halloween counter for Harry Hook is probably not going to be on my Instagram page for a minute, but you guys should go follow me on Instagram at Nicole with 3 E's OJJ. Because yeah, it's gonna be a minute before I post it, but you know it's gonna be there and I want y'all to see it. But yeah, moving on, we're gonna get into today's video. I think this is the quickest I've ever gotten into it. Oh well, but you guys really like my Jade West video. I was so scared to post that video because so many people have been like attacking anybody that like said anything somewhat negative about Jade West or anything positive about Tori Vega, but I don't care. I said my blunt opinions about her. I don't like her. But it's one particular point in the video where I was talking about how her and Robbie's dynamic was, and I said I honestly didn't care when she was rude to him because I didn't like his character anyway, and how I was like, I actually dislike Robbie's character more than I hated Jade. And people were like, why you hate Robbie? Now sis, you gotta give us a video. You said it, now here we go. So here we are. Robbie Shapiro is a misogynistic loser. Come on. This video is not going to be that long as my last one, y'all, I promise. But yeah, I'm going to be angry in this one because Robbie Shapiro, all I'm going to say is that y'all cut him too much slack. Y'all cut Robbie Shapiro way too much slack, okay? I'm tired of y'all. Every time I go on TikTok, I say something about Robbie and how I don't like him. People always gonna come to defense. It was Rex, not Robbie. It was Rex. When are y'all gonna realize Robbie and Rex are the same person? Y'all don't want to accept that Robbie Shapiro is not a good person at all. And I'm gonna tell you why he's horrible, okay? And I'm not saying that you have to start disliking Robbie. Like I said, like with Jade West, you guys are free to like her. Like I said, these are just my opinions. This is just how I feel. And yeah, I like to speak for the people that be too scared to say their opinions on a lot of these shows.
What are we gonna make? I don't know. I was thinking something maybe intense, scary. Like Jade?
Like I said, I didn't mind when Jade was meeting him because I hated him altogether. Like, Jade has some qualities about her that I actually like. Like, I really liked her and Andre's dynamic, and it still hurts me to know that they didn't do anything with them. But Robbie, I disliked almost everything about him. Like, I don't think there ever was like, he is like, Robberazzi is like one of my favorite episodes, but What else? There's nothing likable about him. Matt Bennett, this is no shade to Matt Bennett. He's an amazing actor. He worked with the material he had. Matt Bennett did nothing wrong. We're here to roast Robbie Shapiro. First of all, we're gonna get on Rex because before I even get to the other stuff, we gotta talk about that freaking puppy. Now, I will go ahead and say Robbie was a very talented actor, okay? He was one of the main 6 kids of the show Victorious, so a lot of the plot did focus on him every now and then he'd have episodes that were centered around him and whatnot. And Robbie, he got into the school for acting. He's a great actor. He's great at ventriloquism, but he started to take that ventriloquism too far because he realized that if he always had that puppet with him, he can get away with certain things that he couldn't get away with in real life. Like, I understand that Rex was there to help Robbie get his confidence and whatnot because Robbie was a loser. I will go ahead and say that Robbie was a loser. He's a wimpy loser though. Unlike Jade West, who is a scary loser, he's just a wimpy loser. Like Greg Heffley. The thing about it is that Robbie always used Rex when he wanted to say how he expressed and whatnot. And nobody liked Rex. Nobody liked Rex. They thought Rex was really, really irritating. And I felt like the only reason why, it's like I feel like a lot of them just felt bad for Robbie because they knew he didn't really have confidence like that. And he was like really, really insecure. That's why they just kind of always tolerated him. But you know, we're going to get back to that later because we got to get back into Rex. Rex is a horrible mess altogether. Like I said, y'all need to understand that Robbie and Rex are the same person, okay? Literally, I was going through all like the horrible things that Rex has said. And I was like, wait a minute, Robbie said this. He's not no better than Rex. He is Rex. He freaking sucks.
I was hoping we could be more than friends.
Every single last thing that came out of that puppet's mouth was extremely pervy. I hated it so much, and that is my main problem with a lot of people. Somebody brought it up talking about why they prefer to watch Disney Channel shows over Nickelodeon shows, because Nickelodeon shows had so many pervy jokes in them. Like, it's ridiculous. And I feel like Dan Snyder, being the gross man that he is, thinking putting children in sexual situations is funny. I feel like that has a lot to do with it, because Dan Snyder, not only he did make a lot of the shows, but he had a lot of impact on other shows too. That's why a lot of them are just kind of like, I don't think you should be putting children in this type of situation. I don't think kids should be doing that, yada yada yada. But you know, Disney, not Disney, Nickelodeon, Disney's horrible too, but they cut him too much slack, and them like getting rid of him now. Hold up, we gotta get on Dan real quick. Y'all know Dan makes me irritated. People were trying to say it was like a good thing that Nickelodeon parted ways with Dan Snyder, and I'm just gonna address this real quick, because Dan Snyder, like Robbie Shapiro, has to deal with a lot like of Dan Snyder, because I feel like a lot of these male characters in the shows are characters that he actually is in real life, or characters he wanted to be. Dan is still getting paid by Nickelodeon, okay? Because y'all know they stay having daily marathons of Drake and Josh, Victorious, iCarly, Game Shakers, Henry Danger. Even though Nickelodeon parted ways with him, they technically fired him, he's still getting paid. Y'all know residuals are a thing. If they play reruns of a person's shows, they're still going to make money from it. They put his stuff up on streaming platforms to watch. He's still making money. That man is well off. Them literally firing him did nothing. Okay, now we got to get back into Robbie Shapiro. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to get into that Dan mess because Dan gives me a headache. Episode where Rex got destroyed, everybody was like, y'all, we gotta get rid of him. Like, no, like Jade was like, no, let him die. And I was on Jade's side for the first time ever. I was like, you know what, Jade's not wrong. Let Rex die. Let him die. I feel like they knew good and well that if Rex was gone, Robbie would actually be quiet. He would shut up. He would not be saying all that stuff that he got away with because of that puppet. Like, he would have shut up. Like I said, Robbie was a punk. Robbie was really scary. He could never voice his real opinions out. Like, what's one thing about Jade is that she actually was straight up about her being a nasty person. Robbie always felt the need to cover it up. Like I said, Jade was a scary loser. He was a wimpy loser, like Mr. Greg Heffley. Y'all, if y'all want a video about Greg Heffley, we can make it, because Greg Heffley sets me off. I cannot freaking stand him. Like, a lot of people were trying to say him and Nikki Maxwell are the same. You know who Nikki Maxwell is? Comment down below, because I acted like that when I was a kid. But yeah, people were trying to say Nikki Maxwell and Greg Heffley are the same. And I'm like, no, they're not. Anyway, we're getting way off topic. Moving on, we got to get into his dynamic with Miss Trina. Now, Trina, I have like a soft spot for Trina. Like, Trina was annoying and whatnot, but it's just obvious that Trina just wanted to be accepted, and she always did the most to try to get attention. But the way Robbie was treating Trina is really unprofessional. Like, y'all know, people were trying to say that in that episode where it turns out Robbie was the one, no, they said Rex was the one that cut Trina's harness during the play, and she ended up getting hurt and having to go to the hospital. People were trying to say, oh, it was just Robbie. No, it was just Rex. No, Robbie did it. Y'all need to stop cutting Robbie so much slack because y'all think he's just a dorky kid. I'm telling you, a lot of them little dork. Y'all see all these people talking about school, that word, because I know good and well if I say that word, a lot of them be like low-key kind of loser type people or quiet people. It's always those people that feel the need to hurt people for no reason, or people that hurt, like, we're mean to them. I'm sorry, you can't hurt people. I don't care how mean somebody was to you. Y'all don't hurt them. Be the bigger person, move on with your life, yada yada yada. But aside from that, it made me realize that that's not the only thing that he's done with Trina. Because I remember him and Trina had to do a scene together. And you know, like the weirdo he is, he caught feelings doing the scene. That's why I hate doing scenes with boys when I have to act. Because a lot of them started to catch feelings talking about we had a connection due to his acting. It was freaking acting. I don't like you like that. I was pretending. But yes, he literally... Can we please talk about how he sexually assaulted Trina? And Nickelodeon tried to play it off as funny. Like I've told you, I am sick of Dan Snyder thinking that putting kids in weird sexual situations is cute. It's not funny whatsoever. But he literally sexually assaulted Trina, where he literally came up to her and kissed her. And she was just like, what is wrong with you? He was like, we like each other. And she was like, no. I'm sorry, I'm not into you like that. Just please leave me alone. It's like throughout the show, I feel like that is like part of the reason of what led up to him hurting Trina, because it's just so obvious that she did not like him like that, and he just really couldn't accept it. Because I don't know, I feel like people kind of saw Trina as a loser, because she kind of was. No, Trina was a star, let's go say that, but people just kind of saw her as like kind of like an outcast because she did the most a whole bunch of times. I feel like Robbie thought it would have been easy to get up in Trina's pants, but no, Trina was not easy. Trina was not about that, okay? This is a Trina Vegas stan account.
Hey, it's me, Robbie. Tori invited me over to her house.
I did not invite him.
Okay, that is true, but she's very glad I stopped by.
I'm the opposite of glad.
Moving on from Trina, he was also really, really creepy to Tori. Like, I remember that he would, like, like, low-key admitted to her that he would come to her house and just spy on her. And she was, like, really freaked out by it. And she actually did catch him at her house one time and told him to get away. But after that, it just really seems like Tori was always creeped out by Robbie. But at the same time, she just felt bad for him because she saw how low his confidence was. So she just kind of, like, tolerated him for the most part. But Tori and Robbie, that's just pretty much all I have to say. It's like I feel like he was just really obsessed with her and Trina. And he felt like, kind of like, liking Tori would have got him to Trina. I don't know, I'm just throwing out like headcanons out like that. But yeah, I noticed that he knew good and well that he could not get away with doing this type of stuff with Jade. That's why he did it to Tori. And we're moving on to like the worst case of them all is him and Kat. This one makes me so upset because he saw how naive Kat was. Like, I don't want to call Kat stupid, but she was a bit naive. She just wasn't always there and up to par about what was going on. And he just took advantage of that. And I thought it was really disgusting. Like, do y'all not remember that he has cardboard cutouts of Kat in his house? Like, he's obsessed with her. And she saw it and was freaked out by it. And everybody was like, oh, but it's cute. He loves and appreciates her. No, why? And somebody straight up told me that this boy, the boy could probably have a crush on me. I could probably have a crush on him too. If I find out he has cardboard cutouts of me in his home, I'm blocking him. I'm getting a restraining order because I'm officially creeped the freak out. Like, him and Kat's relationship was very complicated. And I feel like throughout the show, it was really just him wearing Kat down. He was just wearing her down throughout the show because towards the end, it's obvious that Kat did catch feelings for Robbie, but like in the beginning, it's just obvious she didn't want him. And even if she did catch feelings for Robbie, if she said she didn't want him, she didn't have to have him, okay? Because there was an episode where she was really jealous about him, like, taking another girl to the dance. But it turns out that, like, Kat just missed the attention. That's one thing about Robbie is that he gives Kat all the attention in the world. Like, he literally would drop everything for a Kat Valentine, okay? But just because a girl likes your attention does not mean that she likes you. Like, I've done it plenty of time where there are a lot of boys that give me attention and I just like the attention. but I actually don't want them. Like, a lot of girls can relate to that. Like, the girl don't owe you anything. Like, people were trying to say girls are a tease and yada yada, and people can say that Kat was a tease to Robbie, but at the end of the day, she does not have to give him anything because it's her body, her choice, her mind, her choice. Kat owed him nothing. Like, people were trying to say that Kat and Robbie's relationship was cute, and I'm just like, no, he was low-key stalking her. He would make her do things that she didn't want to do, like when he made her come babysit with him. Yeah, she just was not into Robbie. She saw Robbie as just a friend and nothing more, and I felt like he was just having a hard time accepting that the only way Kat wanted him in his life was just platonic love, platonic friendship, but he just didn't want that. He wanted to get in her pants, and she just was not here for it. She just wasn't. Kat, I feel so bad for Kat because the more I've been watching it, it's just so obvious that, like, somebody threw it out there that, does anybody else think Kat lives in an abusive household? And I really do think so. And I feel like her being around Robbie a lot had to do with why she was, like, she didn't want to be home. It was just scary for her. That's why she was always around the crew. We never saw her parents. Her brother was always doing stuff. And I felt like her being around Robbie was just kind of like an escape, but at the same time, it's just like, she's just like, I'm not feeling you. I'm only here because I know you're going to give me what I want. I can agree with people were trying to say that Kat was sending him mixed signals, but at the end of the day, women don't owe y'all nothing. They don't owe y'all nothing. Like, you could be dating a woman, she still don't owe you nothing. She don't owe you a single thing. She don't owe you a single thing. But yes, that concludes this rant. It's not as long as my Jade West one because this one is just kind of like more straightforward to the point because this one is just mainly his dynamic. I didn't really see much of an issue. Like, I did see an issue with the way Robbie acted when he was around the boys, but my main issue was how he treated the women on the show, and I thought it was absolutely disgusting. Nickelodeon needs to stop. Like, people get mad at me about the type of content that I make, but I was like, y'all don't seem to understand how kids shows have a strong impact on kids. Like, I remember I saw somebody talk about how they told their son that if a girl does not like you, she says no, you need to leave her alone. And that is not being taught to a lot of our sons. And if we watch shows like this, because that constantly was happening in Victorious, where girls would turn down Robbie and he still try to go after him and whatnot. And that's like a big problem in a lot of kid shows, by the way. Like when the girl or the boy, because I've seen it happen with boys too, when the person that they're interested in does not want them and they just keep wearing them down and leading them on. Like Family Matters. I hate Laura and Steve's relationship in Family Matters. It is so freaking frustrating. I hated it so much. Like, Laura deserved better. Like, he literally, like, people were just trying to say that he was down for her, yada yada yada, but I'm sorry, you cannot wear people down like that. That's just not how it works. And I am so sick of Nickelodeon and Disney Channel teaching kids that the more you bother somebody, the more they'll more likely want you. That's not healthy. We gotta stop teaching that to our children. Like, y'all be telling me I be doing too much when I be making these videos, but no, I genuinely make these type of videos because I care. And I feel like we need to do better about what we put on television in general, but specifically what we're showing to children, because kids are so impressionable and so naive that they literally will see something. Because a lot of people, let's be real, a lot of people don't talk to their kids about relationships. They don't talk to their kids even about their friendships sometimes. So when they go out and get in trouble for doing this and that and the third, by hurting somebody and doing that, parents come in surprise, like yada yada yada, what is this, yada yada. Please, parents, please watch, please sit down. Like, I'm not saying that your kids can't watch children's television, because I'm not trying to be that type of person. Please sit and watch what your kids are watching on TV, and if you see something in it that is wrong, you need to explain to them why that's wrong. Because there are plenty of times where my parents have sat down and watched iCarly and Victorious with me and something problematic has happened, and they were like, hey, so I'm not telling you can't watch this show no more, but you need to be aware that that type of behavior is not okay. And I feel like me, the way I was raised, is part of the reason why I make the content that I do now. My parents always were on to me about what I watched. Like, I had those parents that like I don't understand how people can get away with like watching really inappropriate things and whatnot. Like, that's why I said I was able to like watch stuff with like House of Pain and the Parkers and things like that. Like, my parents would sit there with me and watch it with their approval. But when stuff was going on, like, my parents never let me watch R-rated movies, by the way. It was mainly like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, and then like, you know, the black sitcoms and whatnot. But when something happened, they straight up tell me, you need to be aware of this behavior. It's not healthy. It's not good. And I want you to understand that you cannot do this in real life. You cannot treat people this way. Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of unlearning to do because a lot of the stuff that we see in kids shows, like popular tropes and whatnot, it's very unhealthy, and I really think that's part of the reason why a lot of people are horrible today because of the things they viewed as a kid. But yeah, like I said, if you guys want to see more of me, go follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Tumblr. Please support me on Patreon if you can. I am going to be more and more active on there, but as you guys know, I am very, very busy at the moment. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like I say, I always love and appreciate all of you. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and good night.